What's up, everybody? Noah Kaiser back here for my first ever live stream on this YouTube channel. Today, I got a good friend here, Luke Ponto. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great, man, and thank you for having me. I'm honored to be here. Without question, I'm here with one of my best dudes.
And I'm on your streams a lot, man. I'm on your streams a lot.
That's why I would say, man, like, you're a true dude for that, man.
This is your first time on the channel. It's a safe but scary place. You never know what's gonna happen.
It's the internet can always be a scary place, man.
My channel's a little bit special though. For one reason or another. But we are here to rank.
Depends on what you ask.
What's your social security number? No.
No, don't do that.
No. But we are here to rank all the February films we saw. And my channel's a little bit different, right? Because we're not going to count just things that came out in February. Because that's hard to get everything watched in the month of February. Oh, I think we have a little bit. Oh, we got Jared.
What's up?
Welcome in.
That's what it looked like just from the comment right there, dude.
But we're here to rank all the February films. He has 14 of them. I have 19. I thought I had 20, but I forgot to take off Suncoast. So I got 19. But
Suncoast counts. Like,
yeah, but I didn't sadly get to watch that yet. But that's okay.
Oh, okay.
I'll get to it maybe this weekend.
Yep, give it a try. It's not bad. Give it a try.
But we're going to go with mine first because mine is the most, and I think we haven't seen hardly any of the same films. So this is going to be very interesting.
Yeah, let's do it.
So mine are going to be very, what's the word I'm looking for here? Different? Mine are going to be very different. Because a lot of people do not really care for these types of films. And you know what? That's perfectly fine. That's fine.
Like we always say, man, different strokes for different folks.
That's right. I watch a lot of Hallmark. So what we're going to do,
man. Like I don't blame you for doing that, man.
Yeah. Hey, some people love horror. Some people love their raunchy R-rated comedies. Hallmark is a safe space. It's a great community. I got some great friends in the Hallmark verse, but sadly,
Hallmark verse, I love that.
we call ourselves the Hallmarkies for a reason. I have friends
man, I don't blame you.
Oh, we love it. We love it. We take it and we own it. We own it. But starting off with the worst. This is one that I was sent for review. This is Air Force One Down. Air Force One Down is a cheaply made action film that is so poorly shot, you barely see the action. The CGI blood is awful, while the lead character is very well written, but the acting is just perfectly fine from Catherine. Catherine does a good job of portraying this Secret Service agent. However, what really hinders her performance is the direction and the cinematography. When you're not going to show me the action, all you're doing is pissing me off. Because poorly shot action in an action movie makes it underwhelming in a way. But you'll see this name right here. Anthony Michael Hall.
Right.
He's barely in the film. He's barely in it. He's barely in this film. I'm giving it a star because he's good in it. Another half star because it's only 84 minutes. It didn't drag whatsoever. But the action was so poorly shot that I could not get into this film. And Catherine, Anthony Michael Hall, equal a star and a half. But was this the most disappointing movie of the entire month? By all means, no. That goes to Gilded Newport Mysteries, the first Hallmark film on this lineup. This is all about July in 1895. A murder happens in Newport, Rhode Island. This is basically a period piece mystery that kind of feels like a Downton Abbey mixed with I guess like a Doc Martin, Father Brown mystery. This mystery is thrown completely out the window because you don't care about any of the characters. There's too many characters to develop, so they aren't well developed at all. And if you're not going to develop our lead character here, why am I even going to care?
Right, yeah.
This mystery is only 84 minutes. It felt like 3 hours. Watching Killers of the Flower Moon at 3.5 hours, that felt shorter than this thing. And this, I could watch this and another film, and I'm still not at the end point of Killers of the Flower Moon.
Interesting.
But 84 minutes, it's not awful. The costume design is beautiful. Beautiful. The acting is a bit over the top at times, but with a British period piece, I'm looking for the, well, hello, sir. How are you doing today? I like that type of stuff. It's charming, it's stupid. But you know what? When you're watching something like a Paddington or a Wonka with the over-the-top British accents and the just charming feel to it, this is what this had. But when you're watching a mystery and the mystery is so boring, so underdeveloped with too many characters, this is kind of like a Knives gone wrong. A Knives Out gone wrong. But a bit of a letdown, 2 stars because of the cinematography, the decent acting from our lead actress playing Emma, and the costume design. I got to give that 2 stars. I have very little to say about The Tiger's Apprentice. This was forgettable, short, a story that we've seen before. It kind of feels like a lower budget version of Rise of the Guardians in a way. I thought this should have gone maybe to theaters to make a little bit of money instead of a streaming exclusive. I think it would have looked better on the big screen. Better CGI would have helped this an immense ton. Sense and Sensibility is the newest Hallmark film. This was a Hallmark take on the Sense and Sensibility story. I knew nothing about it going in, and I don't care to watch the other movies in this series that have the same name or the same story. It was poorly done. The accents were over the top. However, the costume design and the performances were much, much better than Gilded Newport Mysteries, so I gave that an extra half star. And the Mahogany ones give the Black community some recognition in the Hallmark community, because the Hallmark verse has very little in inclusivity. It's not very inclusive over the past couple of years. 2021, 2022, we started to get some more of the gay storylines, some of the Black storylines, and we're starting to get in some other races as well. So I like that. Crime Time Freefall is another mystery that I did not like whatsoever. What it does have is an actor you will know very, very well. I think you've seen Bros. Luke Macfarlane. Oh, your sound went out, dude. Shoot. Well, I'll keep going, guys. Hey, you never know what's going to happen. Some mic issues, some other stuff happens, but you know what? That's just life, and we can't really fix the internet. But once Luke and we have Luke back. Are you back, sir?
Blame the phone call, but I got a phone call, but I'm gonna be right back in just a couple minutes. Apparently dinner's ready for me, so I'm gonna be right back.
All right, and I will keep going. Okay, so I'm gonna keep going with this. We are going to keep talking about these Hallmark films and other stuff, but Crime Time Freefall. Crime series Hadley Warner retires to a small town where she encounters her first real case. Using her TV crime knowledge, she teams up with Detective Sean Caden to solve the case. This one stars Lindy Greenwood and Luke Macfarlane. Luke Macfarlane is a Hallmark actor who tried to reach out and go into the Netflix rom-coms with Single All the Way, I believe. He was also in Bros. I didn't end up seeing Bros. I thought this was a very subpar mystery. Not as bad as Gilded Newport Mysteries, but Crime Time Freefall is definitely one that I wanted. I wanted to like this one. I like Luke Macfarlane. I like Lindy Greenwood. Lindy Greenwood was just in a film last year. Here it is. Magic in Magic in Mistletoe. She was very good in that. She was charming. She gave everything to that performance, but the star was Paul Campbell. Just This Mystery did not work for me on almost any level. However, the chemistry between these two is very well done. Luke has this charisma to him that just makes him a likable character. I enjoyed him overall. Lindy Greenwood, I thought could have been given a bit more of character instead of this former crime TV show star. I wanted more. I did. I wanted more. But not saying this is a bad film. It's just one that I personally didn't enjoy as much as I wanted to. 2.5 stars for the interesting storyline and good characters. However, the mystery needed to be well written, and it just wasn't. Stranger in the Woods was also one I was sent to review. And this one stars Holly Kenny. I will be having a interview with Holly very, very soon. Next week. Her and I are still trying to work that out. Cannot wait to talk to Holly. She did a phenomenal job in this film. This is a lower budget horror film, so you judge it on its own merits. You don't judge it on a merit like with, say, a Five Nights at Freddy's or a Saw or an It Follows. You judge it on its lower budget. And since this is her very first film, I believe she's actually ever co-written or written at all, I think. And I'm going by Letterboxd here, so I'm not quite sure. This is her acting debut, apparently, on Letterboxd. Oh, well, that's just great. I love when that happens. I love that. Let me go here. Writer. Yes, she co-wrote this, and I cannot wait to talk to her about that. The interview is coming very, very soon. Stranger in the Woods is all about Olivia and her friends as they go on a vacation after Olivia nearly drowns with a slit wrist in her bathtub after her fiance's funeral. Her friends suspect that she tried to kill herself, but believes someone attacked her. So they go to this cabin in the woods. We've seen this before. There's a very creepy guy, and creepy things are going on. Very interesting idea. I think it could have been handled a little bit better in the script department. However, for a lower budget film, I had low expectations. I used to review things like the VelociPastor and the Wild Eye Releasing ones. This one had some charm to it. Holly and Brendan did a phenomenal job here. Everybody did a phenomenal job, but Holly and Brendan specifically, because that climax, when it's just those two, mainly just those two, that's when the movie really starts to pick up. I enjoyed this one. The blood and gore was really good. I enjoyed the story as it was going along. I think the script could have used a little bit more of a couple rewrites, but not saying it's a bad film, but still one I can definitely say give a shot. 3 out of 5 from me. Could go up to a 3.5. I'm looking forward to talking to Holly. I'm not going to lie. Departing Seniors is a lower budget horror film that I rented. Departing Seniors is one you've seen before. After an act of bullying sends Javier to the hospital, he begins experiencing visions that foresee glimpses of shocking murders at his school right before they happen. Right before they happen. Now, in between...
I'm sorry.
Oh, you're fine, dude. Now, in between navigating social hierarchies and some prejudices of clique culture, Javier and his best friend Bianca must try to unmask a killer before he strikes again. This one really did not work. However, the acting is better than this. You have more character development and a way better story than I was expecting. Stranger in the Woods had a better chance of being bad because of the studio. The studio who put that out really does not have a good track record. But Departing Seniors is a bit of a higher budget film. The blood and gore is a little bit better. The story's a little bit better, but it slows down. And with a runtime of only 85 minutes, for you to slow down and move at a snail's pace halfway through, that's not a good sign. This was at a 3.5 star, and the unmasking was very, very underwhelming. So I brought it down a half star to a 3. Going to the next film, we have The Stolen Valley. The Stolen Valley is a Western that I was sent to review. to save her dying mother, a Mexican. I'm not even going to try and say that. I'm bad with reading. So these two girls are out to go after this corrupt landowner, pretty much. The acting is very good. The cinematography is astounding for the budget they have. They use natural sunlight. Using natural sunlight is super freaking hard. And Luke, as somebody who watches a crap ton of movies, you see a lot of studio lighting. When you see something that is shot with natural light and only the natural light in the sun, where you have very limited timing, it surprises me to no end how well this movie was shot. The shadows and the lens flares that they have in here is phenomenal. The acting is great. What brings this down is it slows down being a very, very slow Western. A Western being slow? Wow. Never heard of that before. But with Django Unchained and something like The Hateful Eight, those have a mystery, those have good characters, and a masterful filmmaker with Quentin Tarantino there.
Right.
This one's fine. It's fine. I gave it a 3.5 star, but this is going to shock people. Madam Web is up next.
Hell yeah.
It has a lower score, yes. Do I care? No. And I'm going to tell you why, okay? I shouldn't have to explain myself. If that'll quit moving, that'd be amazing. Okay. So if this film came out in 2003, this would be up there with a Catwoman. Madam Web is a bad film. It is a bad film. However, is it fun? Yes. It's so much fun. Dakota Johnson is great. Sydney Sweeney, I'm not going to say she's great because she's not great in this film, and that's the fault of the director. What they did with her character, and I think I'm going to spend the most time on this film. Sydney Sweeney, there's a scene.
You don't got to spend too much time though, man, because I'm definitely going to be talking about it too. So
yeah, there's a scene in the diner right before Dakota Johnson drives through the front door of the diner. What is Sydney Sweeney's character the whole entire time? She's very quiet. She's nerdy. It seems like nobody likes her. I'm sorry. You have her in a schoolgirl's uniform and a short skirt with glasses on, with her blonde hair. I'm sorry. That's not how that works. She goes from a nerdy, geeky, supposedly unlikable character to a party girl who's dancing on the top of a table because her new friend pulls her up there and says, "Come on!" So she does that. I enjoyed portions of this film. Dakota Johnson is not giving the best performance. I think she's personally better than the 50 Shades films. I'm not going to lie. She's better than 50 Shades films because she's given more to work with. She gives a crap about the script. Also because she probably got paid more. But let's talk about Isabella. Isabella, she's wasted in this film. The three girls are wasted. Our three Spider Women are completely wasted. You barely see the uniform, the costumes in here. You see them for a minute total in the 2-hour runtime. But I don't want to spend too much time on this one because I know that you're going to spend a lot of time on this one because this film, I think, is getting overly hated, I think. Not saying it's a good film.
Well, I do want to say, though, I think it's also a good reason why you're saving it for me, though, because I also have a really funny story that involves this movie when I saw it in the theater a couple weeks ago. No, last week now, actually. Trust me, you guys are gonna laugh. Like,
yeah. So funny story about this, right? I was on the phone with you. And I was like, man, I think I'm gonna be the only one in here, because last time I went to the theaters, it was Madam Web, and Anyone But You, and Night Swim. I was the only one in the theater for Night Swim and Anyone But You. So I figured, well, hell, the previews haven't started. It's just the commercials before for my local area stores. Right after I get off the phone with you, I get a very interesting set of trailers. I get Ordinary Angels, which I haven't seen yet. Yeah, I haven't seen it yet, but then I got one for Kung Fu Panda 4, standard. Then I get one for Beginners in Housekeeping. That is a foreign language film I know nothing about. I didn't even know that thing was even coming out. But the most shocking one was... No, actually, that one was the most shocking one. Was that one. I'm not going to lie. But the next one was The Holdovers. Why you're showing The Holdovers in February? I don't know. If you want to bring it to theaters for a week, hell, I'll go and see it in the theaters. I'm not going to complain.
It's that
good. Hey, if she wants to play it, I'm not going to complain. But moving on from this film, I'm not going to say I hate this movie, because I don't. I can sit down and I'm going to buy this movie. I will buy this movie.
Too. Like,
I loved this theater experience. Now, not as much as our one friend did, but you know what? Hey, movies hit you in different spots. If it hits you in the right moment,
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. But this one, nobody's seen this one. This is Popular Theory. I don't even think you know what this is. Now, do you, Luke?
No, I do not. I have no fucking idea what it is.
Okay. This will be interesting. This is all about Irwin, a girl genius. So she's pretty much a young Sheldon. She goes to the high school.
Bazinga.
Bazinga. She's the youngest student there, and her one friend, she meets a science guru named Winston, and they develop a chemical that they put into this chewing gum. Whoever chews this gum now becomes the most popular person in school. Everybody wants to hang out with them. Everybody wants to buy them stuff. This story is something I haven't seen very often. I enjoyed this. This is a very charming, short little family comedy. And that's all it needed to be. This could have been overly cheesy, overly stupid, and poorly written, but it wasn't. They do have a very good actress in here named Chloe East. I do like her in this film. She delivers a very fun performance. And you've seen her before. She's been in the Wolf of Snow Hollow and The Fabelmans. But this role, I think, might be her easily her best. She has a new film from A24 coming out called Heretic with Hugh Grant.
Actually sounds kind of interesting.
Well, we learn something new every day. This film really did work. This film really did work for what it was. I say rent it. It's a very charming little movie. I can see this going to the Dollar Tree, but that's not a bad thing. I mean,
this seems like one of those movies that's like that would go to the Dollar Tree, but it wouldn't be like a bad choice.
Mm-hmm. For $1.25, there's a lot worse films that you can pick up. I know I have, but Popular Theory, man, this was just sweet. The kids had really good on-screen chemistry as friends. Chloe East was very good. Cheryl Hines is in it as the mother. But I just had a good time watching this. Love and Jane. Okay. So what Hallmark did is they did a Jane Austen month. Every movie except for one was based on Jane Austen.
All right.
Oh, God. I love these two actors. I do. I love Benjamin Ayres and I love Alison Sweeney. This just didn't work. This did not work. The chemistry was not there whatsoever. It was slow. The period piece costuming for the woman who played Jane Austen, who comes in to help Lily, was very good. But this movie, for a Hallmark film, it should have been better. I enjoyed this as a Hallmark film, but reviewing a Hallmark film, I review it differently than I'm going to be doing something like a Wonka or a Safe House or the Batman. All I'm looking for is chemistry, a decent script, and good cinematography. For a Hallmark film, all it needs to do is charm me. Next up,
here's on that.
Next up is going to be Players on Netflix.
I was going to watch it, but then it just went.
I'm going to say you can skip it. This is all about Mac, and Mac has spent years devising a hookup plays with her friends. She's a New York sports writer who's about to get her big break, but she unexpectedly falls for one of the targets. She must learn what it takes to go from simply scoring to playing for keeps. We've seen movies like this before. This does have a decent cast in it. Gina Rodriguez and Damon Wayans Jr. along with Tom Ellis.
Yeah, it's got a decent cast.
For a Netflix film, it's fine. It's fine.
There's definitely way worse though.
Oh yeah. The Kissing Booth 2 was awful. I've definitely seen.
Was terrible.
Say that again.
Lift was terrible.
Oh God.
Lift. Oh, Edgar Grayman, you could do better.
That was awful, man. I will never watch that movie again.
Yeah, and thankfully, I watched it last month, so I don't have to talk about it right now.
Tom Ellis is charming. Damon Wayans is charming. What you do not have is likable characters for the good majority of this film. You know how this film is going to turn out. You know 100%.
Right.
But that doesn't mean you gotta make your characters unlikable by making these targets more of just objects. And after falling for one of them, you don't like Gina that much. I like her as an actress. You just don't like this character. And I wanted to. Gina's gorgeous. She delivers a good performance. Damon and her have good chemistry. Her and Tom have good chemistry, but that's about it.
Yeah.
An American in Austin. This one is all about Pride and Prejudice. This is their take on Pride and Prejudice. Harriet, who thinks that no real man compares to Mr. Darcy, is transported into Pride and Prejudice and gets an unexpected chance to find out. Eliza Bennett is very good here in the lead role. Nicholas Bishop, very good. What makes this movie better than the past couple Hallmark films is the story. Not knowing the Pride and Prejudice story helps. If you love this story, this will be easily 5 out of 5 if you're a Hallmark fan. If you're not a Hallmark fan, this is going to be a tough one to get through. As a Hallmark fan, very easily one of the most likable Hallmark films they've had this year so far. But with that being said, I got one more real Hallmark Jane Austen film to talk about. But before we get to that, we got Upgraded. I love Camila Mendes. I love her. She is phenomenal. I like her work. She delivers performance after performance that work for me. I'm looking forward to her new film coming on Amazon called Musica in April. I think that's what it's called. We've seen the story before. It's standard. It's formulaic. But the chemistry between these two is what makes this film. Might be a little bit overly long at an hour and 45 minutes. But Camila makes this completely worth it, along with Marisa Tomei as her boss. She's an unlikable character, but man, does she play a good villain.
There you go.
Aging Mr. Darcy. Oh, boy.
Oh, boy.
My reaction might scare everybody, right? Mallory Jansen and Will Kemp are Hallmark legends at this point. Will Kemp is known for his dancing. They have to do one movie where he doesn't dance, but they've barely done that. There's a line where He says, well, of course I know how to dance.
Yeah.
Of course you do. Mallory Jansen and him do have very, very good chemistry. I enjoyed this. This is all about a love of Jane Austen stories helps two people overcome their pride and admit their belief in love. So they go to basically a Jane Austen festival of sorts. And that's all I'm going to say. Will Kemp and Mallory Jansen do have great chemistry. Mallory is a very likable character. The script is on par. Benjamin Ayers plays a very small part in here. But this was just likable and charming. But the best Hallmark film of the entire month is going to be A Taste of Love. A Taste of Love. If you give me a cooking film in general, I'm going to like it. But this one, this is one they bought. Okay?
All right.
One thing that scared me was the poster for it. But then I saw this. He's in it.
John Kreese.
He's in it.
Oh.
His Hallmark debut. This wasn't a Hallmark original either. They bought this one. And when they buy the movies, oh, you should be scared. Mm-hmm. You should be scared. But damn it, this charmed me. The cooking shots were amazing. Jesse Cobb and Erin Cahill have phenomenal chemistry. The story was sweet. It's a movie that just hit me at the right moment. Give me a cooking film with a world-renowned, a TV star, chef. I'm going to enjoy this. I enjoy cooking films. For a Hallmark film to have cooking in it, you're automatically going to get a 2-star from me because you know that the scenes are going to be beautifully shot. The food is going to look gorgeous. And you know that for a good majority of it, the stars are going to be cooking it themselves. Like I've learned from one interview I did with a director who's done them. My third best film of February is Orion and the Dark.
A one that I will be talking about.
I'm not going to say much about this one. Let's just say this movie should have been better. It should have been better. Will this be remembered at the end of the year when it comes to the best animated movies of the entire year? No. This will be just one that's thrown in there. I don't see this getting a best animated feature Oscar nom like Nimona did, which I wasn't even expecting that to get a nomination.
Honestly, who was expecting it, man?
Yeah. But this is one I don't think anybody is going to remember. Jacob Tremblay does a good job in this role. Dark does a very good job. This has a similar feel to Rise of the Guardians as well, with all the different entities of the nighttime. The voice cast is phenomenal. Paul Walter Hauser, Angela Bassett, and Colin Hanks lead this off, along with Ike Barinholtz and Carla Gugino. Are you kidding me? This cast is phenomenal. It's phenomenal. Everybody was looking forward to this when that came out. And I did this and The Tiger's Apprentice back to back. I'm glad I did this one first. All I'm saying.
It's a much better movie.
Yeah, much better movie.
I haven't seen Tiger's Apprentice, but I already know this is the better movie.
And then this is one that just charmed me, man. February is Love Month. It's the month of love.
I mean,
Andrea Bang and Robbie Amell. So, Waverly thought she had her future figured out. She started her medical residency in Toronto after a summer visit to her parents' house in Taipei. When her plans suddenly change, she makes an impulsive detour to a small Canadian town where she meets local lifeguard Blake. After he saves her from nearly drowning at a beach party, Blake offers to teach Waverly to swim. And as the lessons continue, the two unexpectedly find themselves falling in love. This movie is one of the sexiest movies I have seen in a while. This has legit chemistry between our two stars, Andrea and Robbie. I was not expecting this to be this sweet. This is more of a drama in a way. And Robbie's likable anyways. I mean, we like him in certain things. I believe he was in The Babysitter and The Babysitter Killer Queen, I think.
Interesting.
I could be getting him mixed up with something else, but I enjoyed it overall, but nothing beats.
And guys, we just lost Noah. I guess I'm taking over for a while. I really just don't know what happened. I think his computer crashed or something.
Technical difficulties.
Did your computer crash?
Yep. Technical difficulties. It's all right. It's fine.
Had to take over your channel here for a few seconds.
That's all right. Let's go back here. Do that. There we go.
There we go. Jeez.
Okay. Going back here, which brings me to you. This is a very interesting film. Lucy Hale and Nat Wolff, 2 stars I grew up with. 2 romantic outburns, Jane and Will. They're immediately drawn to each other at a mutual friend's wedding. After a disastrous hookup in the coat room, the 2 spend the next 24 hours together trading candid conversations of messy histories and heartbreak on the off chance that this fling might be the real thing. This movie is sweet. It's charming. The chemistry is there. And it's pretty much just 2 people sharing stories. It's 2 people sharing stories of their past relationships. And you see it happen. You see why they're so burnt out on love, why they're so scared to give somebody another chance or even give a chance. You find something out about Nat Wolff's character. Nat Wolff's character is phenomenal here. Nat Wolff is great. Lucy Hale is great. Definitely better than her past romance films. A Nice Girl Like You, and she did one more. A Nice Girl Like You was one of them.
Are you thinking of Puppy Love?
That's a good one, but I can't remember. I'm gonna have to look it up. I'm gonna have to just.
That's the one I remember most, man. Like that was actually a good movie.
That was too. Oh, there it is. The Hating Game.
I like that one too.
I enjoyed it, but I didn't like it as much as Puppy Love. But it's also because I think we're dog people, so I think that helps.
Yeah.
But that movie, not only was she gorgeous in that black dress, but phenomenal in the movie. This one isn't as good, but I can see myself buying this on DVD if it does come on come to Walmart. I think it will, with it being a vertical film. I think it will.
Yeah, that's definitely a probability.
But there is everything that I watched, and now we're gonna go into Luke's.
Yeah. All right. Well, we got some shit ones here to talk about here, but
and he watched all the Hallmark ones as well. No,
I didn't.
no,
I'm not a Hallmark person, but I mean, I love some good rom-coms, but I'm not a Hallmark person.
We will do that, and we'll go down.
All right. In last place, my least favorite film of the year so far, one that Noah talked about probably a little earlier, Miller's Girl. This film is despicable. It's disgusting. It's unwatchable. It's not entertaining. Jenna Ortega and Martin Freeman are trying their best to get through this material. Like, they know this material is not good, but they're doing their best. But I can already tell you that this is two strikes for Jenna Ortega before I can give her 3 strikes to fire her agent. This is strike 2. Her first strike was Finest Kind. Come on, Jenna Ortega, pick better roles than this movie, because you can tell watching this film she did not want to be in this movie. Like, she was like, "Can I just go now? Can I just go now and just finish up Wednesday?" Like I could see it in her eyes. Like,
there was one scene where I'm like, okay, this is a bit uncomfortable. This is unneeded. I think
this movie just left me uncomfortable. This movie just left me uncomfortable in the wrong ways. Like, if you guys want a good movie to watch that'll make you feel uncomfortable, watch a movie like Train Spotting. Like, that movie will make you feel uncomfortable, but it's good. Like, but the movie's actually doing its job correctly, because it's a movie that has different genres, like all mashed up into one: horror, comedy, drama, all that kind of stuff. Like, this movie is an erotic thriller about an 18-year-old student that tries to seduce like a 40-something-year-old teacher. Like, no. This is a terrible film to be made in today's climate.
With her friend helping her out and talking her into it.
And then, towards the end of the movie, she's like, "Why are you doing this?" And I'm like, "You asked her to do it!" Oh my god. Even just thinking about this movie makes me hate it even more. Like,
and there's two scenes that I would like to bring up, all right?
All right, bring them out, man.
This movie, as you saw, I gave it a 3-star. Why? I'm going to go into why. Before we get into those two topics, I enjoyed this script. This script was very, very well written when it came to the erotic scenes between him and Jenna. Except the chemistry was there. They had good on-screen chemistry, and they're trying their best. The cinematography was very, very well done. However, that one scene when he's reading her story was unnecessary, way too creepy. And then the other scene, I was like, this don't need to be in here. And I'm not going to say anything. It's the scene with her and her friend sending a picture.
And yeah, and also, funny thing, you may have guessed it, you actually see Martin Freeman and Jenna Ortega kiss in this movie.
Yeah.
You actually see it.
That was
even during the story scene, like when he attempts to fuck her, it's gross. Just fuck this. It makes me so angry every time I think about it. It makes me so angry. It had a lot of potential. Like, let me just say this really quick before we move on. Miller's Girl had a lot of potential. Like, because you had two great actors, it's a new director, a lot of potential. But that potential was just taken out of the film's brain and just going woof right out the window. So yeah, fuck Miller's Girl. Do not watch this movie, people. Just don't watch it.
Next up,
watch some of the other ones we're going to talk about, which is not this movie. Role play. Oh my god. Again, talk about potential. Like, you have good actors in here. You have Kaylee Cuoco and David Oyelowo. Two very talented people. And you actually have an interesting idea for action comedy. But this film is so boring, unfunny, and poorly shot. Like, this film looks like it could have been, like, this movie looks like it was made on the Sci-Fi Channel, like the worst possible Sci-Fi Channel movie. And it's like, and then this movie just goes to, like, actually, no, screw that. It's morally a poorly shot direct-to-DVD movie. It's basically what this movie is. Like, this is a movie that I would compare in some ways to a little film last year called The Baker, which is awful in every conceivable way. This is one of those films that should have gone direct to DVD and then just keep going until it's in the dumpster. Want to shout out Graham for that one for The Baker. This film is awful. It's not funny. It's, oh my god, I don't even want to talk about this movie anymore.
All right,
moving on. Fuck this movie. It's terrible.
And the next film up is...
here we go. All right, Madam Web. As you can tell by my review, I did not give this movie a percentage score. I just couldn't, because this film was so bad, it was so funny. Like, because the funny thing, like, okay, so I did say earlier I had a funny story with this movie. I saw this film with my best friend Justin, as you can see with the little tag. We were in the theater by ourselves. So we had the entire theater free to ourselves with laughter. and making jokes. And that is exactly what we did throughout the entire movie. We laughed our asses off, we made jokes, and we just yelled at the screen so many times. It is one of the best theater experiences I've ever had in my entire life, and that's kind of why I hold it to a so bad it's good type of movie, in my personal opinion. I know some people are like, it's so boring. If you guys watch it with the right mindset of it being like, you know it's bad, but you want to have the best time watching it just to laugh your ass off, that's basically what this movie is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, another reason why I would also give it 1 star at least is because Dakota Johnson, Celeste O'Connor, Isabella Merced, and of course my wife, that's already solidified, Sydney Sweeney, they all are trying. Like, I have to give it credit for that. They're all trying like their best to get through this source material because they know they're not in the best movie ever. Like, we all know that. Like, seriously, like all 4 of them, they're all trying their best to get through this material. But then it's like, you guys know that if you actually did this with actual Marvel, this could have been so much cooler. But then it's like, then Tony's like, nah, you come over here and SJ Clarkson, you're gonna do what we say. You don't get to do your own vision on this kind of bullshit. Like, that's my impersonation of the Sony execs because, and one more thing, I also want to preface, leave Chris Stuckman alone, because all he was doing was just stating the fact that he didn't want to review Madam Web. And because of studio interference, he was just only talking about the studio, and that was it. You guys were just thinking, oh, and people were just like, oh, he doesn't want to review Madam Web. Fuck this guy. Guys, leave him alone.
And I think that this was an easy video target. Because if you see somebody as big as a Chris Stuckman, he's a big inspiration to you and I as film lovers and as a reviewer. He's one of the best to ever do it. So,
but he wants to celebrate film now because he's a filmmaker and he has experience in the industry. So it's like, guys, do you guys not know that he has experience with this industry? Mm-hmm. You guys need to leave him alone. Like, because all he's trying to do is just say the facts of what happened behind the scenes with this film and why he thinks that Sony execs need to treat their directors with more respect. Especially women directors.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and also the women in this movie, especially Sydney Sweeney. Like, oh my God. Like, what they did with her character, I thought was just baffling to me.
But I will say that these girls had a phenomenal time making this movie. They're the best of friends, and I'm happy for them. I'm glad they have friends for life.
Like, they have that real life chemistry, which is great. Like, I'm glad they have that in real life. It's awesome. I just did not see it in this movie, though. Mm-mm. Like, the only ones who I really thought actually somewhat at least had chemistry were Dakota Johnson and Sydney Sweeney. Like, I thought they were at least the ones that were actually trying to do good together.
Yeah.
But also there was like some really weird angle shots in this movie that make you think they're doing something else. You know, like when they're doing like the CPR on the pillow and everything, It looks like they're grinding the pillow.
Yeah.
It does. And I'm like, come on, people. Get a better angle here, because it's like you're making us think they're grinding a pillow. Like, come on now. But all in all, though, like, if I'm talking realistically, though, this movie's awful. It's one of the worst comic book films, I think, of all time. But it's hilarious. I think this movie is freaking hilarious. And look, with all due respect to Sydney Sweeney, I think she's trying. But then again, though, I just know she knows that there's better material that she's done out there. Like the upcoming film Immaculate coming up, which I'm really excited about. And a big surprise known as Anyone But You. Like,
yeah.
So, and again, I love her. I mean, come on now. Biggest improvement right here. So yeah, I just wanted to point that out. So sorry, Mike, she's mine.
Next up is
Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 1. Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, this was kind of rough. It was okay. There's some good action in here. There's some good performances, but it's pretty boring for the most part and very forgettable. So I'm not going to go too deep into this one, but I'm just hoping that Part 2 is better and it actually ends pretty well. But this film is not a good start to me. So, yeah, not very good. So we can just move on from this because it's not good. Let's talk about something better, shall we? Little movie called ISS. Oh boy, little controversial film here. People have told me that this film is very mid and it's not good. So I kind of went in with those little expectations. I went with like low to modest expectations.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually had a good time watching this movie. I thought it was fun. Is this movie dumb? Yes. Yes, it's dumb. But I feel like there was actually some moments where I actually felt like the filmmakers knew how dumb this movie was, but then they were just like, oh, wait, no, we actually kind of forgot how dumb this is. And there actually are some good performances in this movie. I think Ariana DeBose is terrific. I think she's one of the performances that actually kind of elevates this movie for me. There is some gorgeous cinematography with this movie. Some of the cinematography looks really good and it's pretty well shot. So there are some characters that I don't think really are executed well for this kind of story. And like I said, this movie gets very, very, very stupid to a point where I'm like, okay, this is kind of losing me here a little bit. But overall, I enjoyed the movie. So, yeah, I liked it. I'm going to put my hands up on it. I enjoyed it.
I cannot wait to see that once it comes out to rent for $5.99 anyways. I'm not going to spend no $20 on it, but
I think it did go down for cheaper. I'm not 1,000% sure, though. So I'll take a look later.
Yeah. But
all right.
I skipped, but I'll probably go back to.
Next up, we got The Underdogs. Okay. Another movie that a lot of people shit on. I had a good time with this film. I thought this film was actually pretty damn funny. I love Snoop Dogg as not just as a musical artist, but also as an actor. I think he's actually a pretty good actor. I think he's a lot better than people give him credit for. And he, not just as an actor, but also he's a really funny dude. Like, if you watched some of the bits on Celebrity Family Feud that involve Snoop Dogg, that was like pie in the horse. Like,
pie in the... What the hell did
you say? Role play quick. Fill in the blank. Pie into what?
Horse.
And everybody lost it. But yeah, folks, The Underdogs is a funny comedy. Yeah, but like I said, The Underdogs is a funny comedy. Snoop Dogg is good in it. The kids also are really good in this movie. And it's also Mike Epps is good. Tika Sumpter's good. I like this movie quite a bit. Is it familiar? Yes. Are there jokes that don't land? Yes. And is this movie admittedly a little too long? Yes. I think it should have at least been 90 minutes, but it's not. It's about 100 minutes. I don't think it needed to be that long. It could have been shaved down from at least for about 10 minutes. But I like the movie quite a bit. I thought this movie was actually pretty funny. So I enjoyed myself. All right, here we go. Suncoast. Now, I'm going to put my hands up on this one too, because I know some people really do not like this movie. I enjoyed it. Now, look, is there flaws? Absolutely. But the good performances, a beautifully shot film, and some actually really, really good dialogue and some good tear-jerking moments actually kind of do elevate this movie for me. Like, Nico Parker is amazing in this movie. She is the best performer in this movie, even though Laura Linney and Woody Harrelson, I think, are also really good. Except that, Laura Linney's performance is very good. I just don't like her character. Her character arc and somewhat like redemption towards the end of this film, I thought was not very good.
Mm-hmm.
But as a movie itself, I thought it was a pretty good coming of age flick. I enjoyed myself watching this film, and I don't know, like some people really do not like this movie, and I don't quite get that. I think it's pretty good. Okay, oh boy, polarizing film right here in Bob Marley, One Love. This is a pretty divisive movie. Now, look, does this film mess with the story? Yes, but what biopic doesn't? Are there some moments that definitely could have been stretched out and given some more levity? Yes. Is this film about an hour 40 minutes, but feels like about 3 hours? Yes. But look, I was never familiar with Bob Marley's music. I was familiar with him as a person. I was never familiar with his music. But some great performances, some great concert sequences. The concert sequences of this film are amazing. Like, they really do help this movie. And Kingsley Ben-Adir as Bob Marley is amazing in this movie. I know his performance is not going to be very much so remembered, but he is really, really, really good in this movie. As is Lashana Lynch as his wife, Rita Marley. She was fantastic in the film. I think she actually kind of stole the movie. And again, some good songs in there too. But I mean, it's Bob Marley music. Some of the songs because I'm not familiar with Bob Marley's music. The music is great, and I don't know. I mean, I enjoy myself, but I mean, I think this film could have been at least 2 hours 15 minutes to kind of give us a little bit more of his story rather than just focusing on one album he did. But as a movie itself, but I also want to say to make it up to 2 hours and 15 minutes, even the pacing a little bit. Like, don't make it like 3 hours long like this movie kind of felt like. But I enjoyed myself watching this film. I really don't care what anybody says. I like it. Let's move on. One of the most difficult to watch films of the year in Society of the Snow. Oh my God. This film was actually kind of tough to watch. And it's also one of those films where it's like, it's tough to watch, but in a good way. And it's like, you have to check this movie out at least once. Like, it's not a movie I'm ever going to watch again, but it's definitely one you have to watch once. But yeah, great movie. Again, I don't want to speak too much on this one. Just watch it. Okay. Noah talked about this one a little earlier. Orion in the Dark. I love this movie. I love the character of Orion, voiced by Jacob Tremblay. The different variations of the Dark are all great, and they're actually really well discovered. The animation. Nobody can give this movie credit for how good the animation is.
Mm-hmm.
The animation of this film is stunning. And you also want to know why I love the dialogue in this movie? It's written by one of my favorite writers and filmmakers, Charlie Kaufman.
Mm-hmm.
I am a huge Charlie Kaufman fan, and when I heard he was doing a new movie, in regards to the writing credit, and I was like, what's this going to be? And then I found out it was an animated movie, and I was like, oh, damn, okay. But man, does he make a good one right here. Like, I love Charlie Kaufman as a writer. Like, he has written and also directed some of my favorite movies of all time.
This one's phenomenal.
That is one of my favorite films of all time. That's my favorite of his. Eternal Sunshine's amazing. I'm Thinking of Ending Things is amazing. Being John Malkovich is amazing. Adaptation is really good. And Confessions of a Dangerous Mind, I think, is highly underrated. Like, nobody talks about Confessions of a Dangerous Mind. George Clooney's directorial debut, by the way. But yeah, Orion in the Dark, I think, is probably going to go down to be one of the biggest hidden gems of 2024 once it's all said and done. But yeah, I loved it. Don't know what else you want me to say. Probably the biggest surprise of the year for me in Ordinary Angels. I saw the trailer for this film last year when I saw Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret in theaters. I thought this film looked like trash. I thought it was going to be another preachy faith-based film, and I was like, oh my God, what the fuck is going to happen right here? So I kept seeing the trailers a few times. I even got it at Saw X, which is very strange.
Two very similar movies.
Similar in regards to studio.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, what? This looks generic. This looks like a really bad faith-based film. But I hear so many good things about it a few days before I go see it. I go to the theater with Justin. I sit down in my seat, and I'm like, okay, the best this movie could do is surprise me. And it did on every single level. I love this so much. Filled with excellent performances, beautiful cinematography, and a really gut-wrenching and emotional punch. With this kind of story, with the 5-year-old daughter being critically ill, which is actually a true story. Some of the stuff that happens in this film really, really tugs at your heartstrings. But this is also one of those films that does kind of do some tugs at your heartstrings on the easy side. But it doesn't really bother me in a lot of facets because I was really invested in this story. And Hilary Swank gives her best performance in a long time. Like, she is phenomenal in this film as Sharon Steve. She's like, and also at first you don't like her as a person, but then as she progresses and gets a redemption arc to help this family, like, you like her even more. Because she's a drunk when you first meet her. But as she progresses, when she finds out that this girl is like this 5-year-old girl is ill, she's like, you're like, do everything you can to help them, please. And then she does, and man, oh man, this film really hits you. Like, it's kind of this is also one of those faith-based films that I did not expect to punch me in the gut, dude. Like,
yeah, there's a couple that really do a great job of hitting me in the right way. One was Breakthrough. That was a very good one.
Oh, that was that's a good one. I liked that one.
And then I believe the next one is from the same studio, Jesus Revolution. That one I did enjoy.
I like that one too. I didn't love it, but I liked it.
But like a War Room or a
God's Not Dead.
I went to go and see that one. I haven't seen any of the other ones. I used to be able to take my family to all the faith-based films, and they would literally go and see everything that had a faith-based factor to it. Now it's very rare, but those films, man, Breakthrough and Jesus. Well, see, I saw
Jesus Revolution's good.
In theaters. I saw the Breakthrough in theaters. Jesus Revolution, I didn't see until I bought it on Blu-ray.
And it's good. And also, because it's also from the Erwin brothers, American Underdog and Woodlawn. Those are good movies.
I haven't seen either of those.
I'd recommend them. They're good sports faith-based movies. They're actually surprisingly really good, but I think this one, in my opinion, Ordinary Angels, I think is the best Jesus Christ, I can't talk. The best faith-based film ever made. I never thought I would see it, man. Because I thought Sound of Freedom was pretty good. Controversial film, I know. Shut up. But I enjoyed the movie. But this one far surpasses it. This is the best faith-based film I have ever seen. So yeah, I love Ordinary Angels. Okay, time to get controversial here. My number 3 is Argylle. Everybody, and I'm talking like everybody that I've talked to, minus a few of my friends that are minus a few people in the group chat, hated this movie. A lot of people hated this movie, and I was like, guys, do you guys not know what turn your brain off and silly fun action movies are? Like, because this is like one of those throwback, like somewhat 80s action movies in some ways. And I will admit, though, this film is definitely a little bit too long. It clocks in at about 2 hours 20. I don't think it needed to be. I think it could have been 2 hours at best. But overall, though, man, I had a blast with this film. I thought it was funny. It was action packed. The action sequences with some of that Matthew Vaughn flavor was amazing. I'm a huge fan of Matthew Vaughn. Like, so that should probably tell you something. All the performances are great in this movie. Henry Cavill was great in that little Broken Arrow John Travolta hairstyle. All that kind of glory. I love Bryce Dallas Howard in this film, but the real show stealer is Sam Rockwell. Like, Sam Rockwell, I thought was easily the best part of this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And also the adorable cat. I love the cat. So adorable. But this is probably the best Matthew Vaughn movie since the first Kingsman. I don't care what y'all say. I love this movie. I mean, it might go down for me on a rewatch at home, but I don't know. This movie is just a blast. It's a lot of fun. It's stupid. It's silly. Yes. But this is one of those films you really got to suspend your disbelief with how dumb it is. Because if you don't know Matthew Vaughn, you definitely will not like this movie. All right. Oh, here we go. Mixed reception time. Lisa Frankenstein. Now, look, there were some great films I've seen beforehand before I saw this movie, like films like The Beekeeper, Orion in the Dark, and Argylle. But I didn't think I would get this level of greatness with Lisa Frankenstein.
Mm-hmm.
This film I thought was awesome. My buddy Justin was not as high on this movie. He gave it like 3.5, I think. But I think also what really holds this film near and dear to me now after seeing it in theaters was when I did my TikTok of it, my first reactions, I got a like and a comment from Kathryn Newton, the main star of this film. And dude, like, she is one of the sweetest people around, man. Like, she is a very nice lady. Like, I love her so much.
Great up and comer.
I mean, she's been in the industry for a little while, man. Just saying. Toby,
what's up, man? Welcome.
Welcome.
Say it for the rest of the streamer. You're kicked out of the group chat. No, I'm just kidding. No.
Anyways, I'm gonna go back. Can I keep talking about Lisa Frankenstein, please?
Of course.
Also, this is also one of those films that I think is destined for cult classic status, like Argylle. This film is also going to be like this, and Argylle, I feel like, are going to find its audience down the line, and this will be remembered as a cult favorite. Like, because this film got mixed reviews at best. I think it's at a 51% right now on Rotten Tomatoes. I think this film is a lot better than a lot of the critics are saying it is. Like, at least for some critics, it's a.
Mm-hmm.
But I genuinely loved this movie. I mean, Kathryn Newton is terrific. I mean, I love her. Who doesn't? But Cole Sprouse as the creature, like, that's actually his character name online. You actually don't know his name. He's just referred to as the creature.
Mm-hmm.
He is so good at playing like a zombie. Like, there were even times because of how good the makeup was, I couldn't even tell that it was Cole Sprouse. Like, if I'm going to be completely honest, like, there were times I couldn't even tell it was him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's how good the makeup was. And Diablo Cody's signature dialogue and script, top notch. If you guys don't know who Diablo Cody is, she wrote Juno and Jennifer's Body, which, I'm sorry, haters, but Jennifer's Body is awesome.
That's a really good movie. I don't care. That's a really good movie.
And there's some sexy stuff in Jennifer's Body. Just saying. Yeah, Tully. I don't think I watched Tully, but I haven't seen Young Adult yet. Also, I haven't seen that. But Juno and Jennifer's Body are terrific. Like, and Lisa Frankenstein, in my opinion, honestly, I don't want to try to overhype it for you, Noah, because I do really want you to watch this movie. This might be my favorite movie written by Diablo Cody. I really think it is. And also, this is the directorial debut of Zelda Williams, the daughter of legend Robin Williams. And I think she has a bright future ahead of her down the line as a filmmaker. So, congratulations, Zelda Williams, for making this absolute gem of a movie. Catherine Newton, I'm still pulling for you. Even after I saw you in Freaky, I was like, I'll watch anything you do, like anything in the near future. And this is one of them that also keeps me on that status.
Yep.
And also,
Cody says I need to see this.
Yes, you do. But I also want to point out this is another reason why Cole Sprouse is the better twin of the two. This is one of those reasons why he's the better twin of the two, because not just as a person but as an actor, because he's done he knows what good movies are and what good scripts look like. He was in that pretty underrated rom-com back in 2019 called 5 Feet Apart.
Mm-hmm.
That one was pretty good. And Moonshot, I wasn't as big on, but that one was pretty good. It was okay. But this one really does prove why he's the better twin of the two.
And then you got somebody like Dylan Sprouse who's doing the Beautiful Disaster, which was I'm not saying it's great, but my God, was it stupid fun. It was over the top. It was stupid.
I thought it was terrible.
Oh, I'm not saying it's great, but when they go to Vegas and he has to fight to get her out and stuff, and that poker game, that was stupid. But it's one of the films where I can see myself saying, do you want to watch a bad movie? And it'd be that one.
No, I can't, but but like I said, Lisa Frankenstein, 5 Feet Apart, and a Moonshot are reasons why I think Cole Sprouse is the better twin and actor of the two, in my opinion. So yeah, Lisa. I'm honestly, I thought this film was going to stick to being my number one for the year, but we got one that overtook it. And I know people are going to be like, that doesn't count. I saw it last night on February 29th, so I'm going to count it. My number one favorite first time watch of the year.
And it is my channel. And he asked me if I think it counted. The reason why I think it counts, right? It did limited openings in a couple thousand screens in AMC theaters on February 25th. Then it opened last night. So technically it already played in February for an open crowd for many, many theaters. So I say it counts. And that is
Dune Part 2, aka what I consider to be the magnum opus of 2024 so far. I really don't think there's going to be a better movie than this. In all honesty, call me crazy all you want, but this movie I think is better than the first movie in every conceivable way. Even though I love the first film so much, I think they outdid themselves with this movie. And I think we also have some competition for best film of the decade for me, because as of right now, Top Gun Maverick and Past Lives are my favorite films of the decade. This one is going to give them some competition here, because this film is absolutely phenomenal in every way. I think this film, oh my God, despite its 2 hour and 46-minute runtime, it moves at an even pace. Timothée Chalamet as Paul Atreides, even better in this movie than the first film. You actually latch onto his character more often. Zendaya's great. Javier Bardem is great. Josh Brolin's great. Christopher Walken, Florence Pugh are great for their limited screen time. And obviously Dave Bautista.
I know there's a cameo.
Yeah, not going to say what it is.
Yeah.
Because that's a spoiler.
Yep.
But I do want to preface who I thought was the show stealer in this movie, even though, like I said, he doesn't have that much screen time. But whenever he's on screen, he steals every scene, and that would be my man Austin Butler as our villain here. He was so good in this movie. Like, I think this actually might be Austin Butler's best performance of his entire career so far, man. I really don't think there's going to be a performance that tops this, even though he's phenomenal in Elvis.
Yeah.
Like, but this film as an ice cold villain, like, and some amazing makeup. Like, the makeup effects for his character are amazing. The fight scenes are so well directed, and they're actually really well edited too. Like, that is how you direct and edit action sequences, is this movie.
Now,
the CGI, like the CGI and effects are some of the best I've ever seen. Like,
now, is this his best film? Is this Denis Villeneuve's best film? Do you think it is?
I'm going to say it. Yes. Yes. I think this is his best. Even though I love the first Dune, I love Prisoners, I love Arrival, I love Sicario. I like Blade Runner 2049. I think it's overrated though. And Enemy is really good, but it's really confusing. Incendies, Incendies I have not seen yet, but I will soon. But this movie made me go back up to status of why Denis Villeneuve was one of my favorite filmmakers working today. Honestly, top 3. Even though 2049 and Enemy are a little disappointing, because everybody was so over the moon about those movies, which honestly I'm not. Even though I really like Enemy and I like Blade Runner 2049, I just think with films like Sicario, Prisoners, Arrival, and Dune Part 1 and Dune Part 2, this solidifies why I love Denis Villeneuve. Like, why I think he's one of the greatest filmmakers working today. And again, if there are at least 3 films, or actually, no, I'm going to say it, 2 films. If there are 2 films that are better than Dune Part 2, we are in for some greatness this year, man. Like, who knows? We got films like, we got Ghostbusters on the way. We got Kung Fu Panda. Yep. We got, what else we got? We got Monkey Man. We got Abigail. We got The Fall Guy. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Civil War.
Yep.
Civil War's on the way. Love Lies Bleeding's also on the way.
Venom 3. We have Craven.
Immaculate's also on the way.
Yep. But
I don't think there's going to be anything else that's going to top Dune Part 2. I think besides Monkey Man, until I saw that trailer for Monkey Man, this was my most anticipated film of the year, and it lived up to the hype. After 3 years of waiting, it lived up to the hype. And again, I really don't think there's going to be a better movie than Dune Part 2 this year. I really don't think there's going to be. So I love this movie, and I know it just came out, but I feel comfortable saying it now. I think this movie is a masterpiece.
Do you think that this movie wins Best Picture right now?
If I was running the Oscars, this is my Best Picture winner. Easily. And the way this movie ends, no spoilers, but it does have a good setup for the next Dune, which would be Dune Part 3.
Yep, Dune Messiah. Yep,
adapting the Dune Messiah book, because this one was the second half of the first book.
Yeah.
And after we get Dune Messiah, which is much shorter than the first Dune book, and then to complete the franchise, they have to do Children of Dune, which is the last book. So once they get that, and let me just say this, if all of them are all 5 out of 5 movies, we could honestly have the greatest franchise of all time. Like, again, not trying to overhype this for people but all I'm trying to say is that this is the movie to see in theaters right now. I know people are looking forward to Kung Fu Panda. Whoever's looking forward to Imaginary, quit your drinking, put that down. Or whoever's looking forward to Ghostbusters, like myself, Godzilla and Kong. Whoever's looking forward to the first film, and again, put your drinks down.
We have the Fall Guy,
Monkey Man, like I said, like you said, the Fall Guy, Civil War, Abigail, and Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes on the way.
Furiosa.
And Furiosa, yes. And honestly, Garfield. I'm actually looking forward to Garfield. I don't care.
Yeah. But what I think is one to look out for, I'm not going to mess around. There's a couple that do come out that I think could beat this.
What do you think?
Deadpool and Wolverine.
All right.
And Borderlands. If they are as much fun, I'm not going to say they're going to be as masterly made, because they won't. They will not be as well made as Dune Part 2. Having not seen the film yet, my theater does not have it yet. I'm hoping in a couple weeks they will. But in my top of the year, the only ones I see beating it is probably like a Deadpool and Wolverine, maybe a Borderlands. But then again, we didn't even know that something like a Poor Thing was actually coming out in 2023. We weren't sure if it was going to be pushed again to 2024. So you never know what comes out at the end. But right now, I feel comfortable saying this, having not seen the film, all right? This movie will get a Best Picture nomination. Denis Villeneuve will get a nomination. This will win, I think, 6 Oscars. 6.
Yeah, I really don't see how this film is not going to get any Oscar nods. Which, if it doesn't, that is a crime against humanity. Fuck you, Academy.
Equaled.
And also want to give the Academy also this again. I want to give them this for not nominating Ninja Turtles: Mutant Mayhem. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, Academy, but I'm giving you this, and also subbing my boy Paul Dano for Dumb Money. Yeah, I give you that, and Zac Efron for The Iron Claw. I'm giving you this, and fuck it. Where was Godzilla -1 for Best Picture? Come on. Okay,
but
that's enough ranting for me.
But speaking of the Oscars, next Tuesday, you and I will be back here live on YouTube. I don't know if we'll have Mike. I don't know if we'll have Gavin. But we will be doing What If We Pick the Oscars. If we pick the Oscars is what's going to happen there. We're going to have a couple guests on the channel. I'm going to bring up the nominations, and I'm going to start with the bottom. And what we're not going to do is we're not going to cover the best documentary short subject, animated short, or the documentaries, because I can't see
those. Or live action shorts either. So
yeah, we're not going to do any of the shorts, any of the documentaries. What we will do is we are going to do the other ones: the costume design, the production design, the actors, actress, supporting, everything. We're going to do every other one, and we're going to say what we think will win and what we think should win. So that's going to be fun. Right. I love the Oscars. It's my favorite day of the entire year. I look forward to it every year. And last year, it didn't go my way. I will say this. It didn't go my way with what I wanted to win, but I see why everything won that it did. But that was
but I think we got some good ones on our hands for this year. This year for their Best Picture noms, like I honestly my last two I ranked are ones I really enjoyed, but from 8 to 1 in my ranking are the movies that I loved. So these were some good movies for the Oscars this year. Like there were a little bit less of ones that I love from the year before. I mean, but again, there were still some great ones. But this one, I think there's a lot better Best Picture nominees.
This year, I think, might be a weaker year compared to last year, but that's not saying much, because when it comes to a Best Picture nomination list, I don't think there's going to be anything that beats the list from 2017. That had Phantom Thread, The Shape of Water, and Call Me by Your Name, along with
Lady Bird
and Lady Bird and The Darkest Hour.
Get Out. Also, Get Out was also on there.
But I think that was the best year in regards to best picture lineups that I've seen, just because that year was the year that I watched them all before the Oscars. But on Monday, I will be watching Poor Things, and on Tuesday, I will be watching The Zone of Interest, so I can say I've seen all the best picture nominations, and we can say what we think is going to win. If someone on the channel has not seen every film, then they can just pick out what they think is going to win and what they think of what they've seen, because a lot of people don't really want to pay $20 for The Zone of Interest or $20 for Poor Things. But
I did.
I paid $20 for Poor Things, and I'm going to pay $20 for The Zone of Interest as well, because I want to see it before the Oscars, and I know it's going to win one Oscar, but we'll get to that on Tuesday. But there you go, everybody. There is the February 2024 film ranked. I saw 19, he saw 14. What do we have next month? Well, we don't know yet. New things come up all the time.
We'll see. We'll see what we got here.
But if you guys want more of this, if you want more live content, if you want a episode of Noah and Scotty reviews live, let me know, and I'll do a live for that. But I'm going to try and incorporate more live streams, a new live show just involving me and some movie news. That might be fun. But every single month, we will have some sort of live stream, just Luke and I. Maybe it might be like a Blu-ray haul. Maybe it might be this. Or I might bring in something that Luke and Mike do. They do what we watched this week, what I thought I might do. Sometimes it'll be just me, but it's everything I watched in that month. Because this month, I've watched a shit ton of movies.
Yep.
I've watched a shit ton of movies. So that might be one I do next week. That might be fun. But check out the link down below. I have Luke's YouTube channel down below. Get him to 600 subscribers. You guys got me to 1,000. So get me to, give me more subscribers. Definitely. Keep subscribing. I want more. But get Luke to 600. And where can we find you on YouTube, Instagram, and all your private accounts?
But yeah, I'm on Instagram at LukePonto23. YouTube, my name is literally right here, just Luke Ponto. I put the little icon right here of YouTube Film Talker and Physical Media Collector to kind of show what my profession is with YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm on Twitter, not X. That's for you, Elon Musk. At Luke Ponto, also on Letterboxd and Serialized at Luke Ponto, also on Critic List and TikTok at Luke the Film Buff. So you guys can come check me out there. Yeah, I mean, I'm all across the board on social media. Come check me out. And then not sure what I got coming up, but we are going to be starting the Saw series next Saturday in the build up to Saw 11. So, and then probably the weekend after, if we still can, probably the week after, if we can make time, we will do a watch along for The Last Voyage of the Demeter.
Mm-hmm.
So that way we can get that one out. Like, here's what I'm going to do. We're going to be putting in some other watch alongs I've wanted to do while we are doing the Saw movies. So because yeah, if you guys love movies, physical media content, watch alongs, all that good stuff, come check me out. You're in the right place. Please go subscribe. Turn that notification bell on so that way you guys don't miss a post.
And even I've been a couple watch-alongs.
Yeah, you were in the Asteroid City 9. And Mario Brothers.
Mario. Yep, Mario. But I will also be introducing some watch-alongs on my YouTube channel very, very soon. Once I get time to and find the right movies. We have one. You know, I spoke about it. But we will reveal that once we get closer to it. That's going to be fun. I'm just going to say, be hungry. Be hungry. Have some food. But then again, we're men. We're always hungry. But thank you guys for watching this video. Like and subscribe if you're new. Find me on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, on Twitter, on Letterboxd. Noah Kaser. On Letterboxd, it's Noah Kaser 99. Like and subscribe, and we will see all of you guys next time.